On this week's episode of the WNP podcast, we give you our 2022 NFL Draft running back rankings. Stay tuned. Episode 136 of the We're Not Professionals podcast. I'm your host, Mike Mitchelson, and join me today, as always, my co-host, Chase Crawshaw. Chase, how you doing?
I'm doing swell. How are you?
I'm doing great because I just nailed that intro. I mean, I didn't even tell you I was going.
No,
just went.
I was getting ready to speak, and then you started talking. I'm like, oh, good thing I didn't say anything.
What were you gonna say?
Don't even remember.
Oh, okay.
It's
a memory thing, not a.
No, it's a
censored?
memory. It's a memory thing.
Oh, okay.
It's your idea.
Okay, good.
This is your idea.
And then joining us today, we've got George again. George of the jungle.
Yeah, watch out for that tree.
Because he is a giraffe.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah,
oh,
that's
okay.
exactly why, actually. And today, obviously, as you heard in the intro, we got our top 8 running backs. Again, graphics are there. So if you need to look, make sure to head over to the YouTube if you are listening on podcast. But if you're listening on YouTube already, then hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming out.
Wouldn't you watch on YouTube?
No, you'd listen to.
No, I just watch. Sound off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Especially with like a podcast. Like
you can turn on auto captions.
No, I know. Well, if I like do them.
No, you can have a setting where like in settings, like on a video, it'll just do auto captions. It won't make it like accurate words all the time. Like when I'm talking.
But it needs to hear it.
Well, yeah, it'll hear it like on the video, like in the system.
Because you got it muted.
Oh, okay. That's how that works. Okay.
That'd be interesting. A podcast with no audio.
I mean, there's deaf people on the planet. You think that they don't check out podcasts that offer?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why would you want to come to listen and watch a YouTube show just to watch it? Like, we're not doing anything right now. We're literally just looking at each other, moving our mouth.
We look handsome.
Okay. All right, then. We got our running back rankings today. Super excited about that. But before we talk about that, we got some news around the league, including Chase's favorite coach calling him fired after this season, that being Cliff Kingsbury. No, he got a contract extension.
It was a hot take, and it shouldn't have been a hot take because, yet again, what has he done for the Arizona Cardinals? Sure, they've improved every year, but they're still like the 4th team in their division. Let's be honest.
You know why?
Why?
Yeah, the 4th best quarterback.
Oh. Might be, but at the end of the day, he got a extension through 2027 that is undeserving. I really don't think he coaches through it. I genuinely believe that. He's a fine coach at best, but I think he's disappointed heavily compared to what expectations were. It's supposed to be this air raid offensive type guy and really show flashes, but his offense is always slow down heavily second half of the year. Like if you're that much of a genius offensively, you should be able to figure it out. And I just don't see it for him. But whatever, that's fine. They can be stuck with a life of mediocrity.
I still don't buy the weapons that they put around Kyler. Like, they've got Nuke, which is great, but he had some struggles with injury this season. You got a very old AJ Green, not that old. He's like 33.
He played well this year, though. For what the expectations were, he outplayed his expectations.
Well, Cliff has come out and said, like, we need to get him the ball even more. And then Rondell Moore is...
He did not get used enough. He got used like heavily in one game, and he had a good game, and then he stopped getting used.
And Christian Kirk stinks.
Yeah, he's fine.
And then their running backs are trash.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and I don't even know if I buy Kyler Murray fully. Like, coming into this season, I'm like, yeah, I think he's going to prove to be a top 10 quarterback. At the start of the year, he looked great, but he did not do well at the end of the year, and now he's kind of making himself look like an ass this offseason.
You know, I think it was PFF did a projected contract for him to get an extension. It would be 6 years, $245 million total, which would be over $40 million a year. He's just flat out not worth that. Flat out not worth it.
I saw a discussion on Twitter. I'm interested to hear your take. As well as the people listening at home, go ahead, put it in the comments. But I saw a tweet where a guy said, Kyler straight up for Dak. Which team says no?
I think they both say no. I don't think either team would.
That's such a cheap answer.
But I think the Cowboys would much rather have Dak. I think the Cardinals would much rather have Kyler. They're gonna put their trust in Kyler, and the Cowboys want to put their trust in Dak. I really think that's the case. Like,
do they want to put their trust in Kyler? They're not ready to give him that contract yet.
I wouldn't be either. I wouldn't give any quarterback that contract. He's got 2 years left on his rookie deal. No, he got 2 years left on his rookie deal. Play through your rookie deal first. Screw you.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Mahomes got his in July, so Kyler's even 4 months ahead of where Pat Mahomes was when he got his deal. So,
and I'm in favor of the players getting paid. Like I am, but if I were the organization, there's not really a benefit to paying you. Like, to keep him happy. Well, if he's unhappy, then he can just not play, and we're saving ourselves more money because he's got to forfeit that money. Whoop-de-doo. Like, that's fine. But make him play through the rookie contract like every other quarterback, like every other player does. And once the time comes that, maybe even if you want to wait till at least the 4th year is done, not just the 3rd year. Mm-hmm. Like, even if you don't want to pay the 5th year option, then sign him right from there. Like, that's fine. Just like to do it after the 3rd year when you still have technically 2 years left on that rookie contract. Like, I don't know why a team should ever do that.
I agree, and I think if he holds out, I'm gonna lose all. I don't want to really say respect, but I'm just not going to be a fan of his whatsoever if he holds out because he wanted to get paid 2 years early.
Yeah, I hear you out there.
Also, I won't do the cop-out. The Cowboys say no. That's my personal opinion. I mean,
they definitely would.
I think, even me, I'd rather have Dak right now than Kyler. Dak is so much less of a drama queen, and he gets the job done on the field. He's got a ton of wins, which I think does matter and is a quarterback stat.
Hey, but we've both come a long way on Dak. We have.
Well, it took you a little bit longer, but yeah.
Really took me longer than you?
Go back 2 seasons ago. I was talking about how I like Dak.
2 seasons ago, you're talking about that he's an elite quarterback?
Yeah.
No, you were not.
Yeah, go back.
I will put so many nickels down on this.
Go back, watch the VODs.
I will put so many nickels down on this.
Yeah, it took you a while. Me and Johnny were on there.
Get out of
here. Bam. If Johnny's watching, he'll tell you. Johnny, if you're watching, Snapchat Chase right now and tell him that you and me were on the Dak train.
He hasn't Snapchatted me yet.
Oh.
That's tough.
Well, Johnny, stop lying then, you frick. All right, let's now talk about the Giants and how Kyle Rudolph, their number 2 their tight end.
Yes.
Because Evan Ingram is going to free agency. He actually gets cut, Kyle Rudolph. So not much of an impact here. But
no, because he sucks.
But still looking at the Giants offense, you've got Daniel Jones, who is... You've got a very injury-prone Saquon Barkley, who, we'll talk in a second, is rumored to be on the trade block. You've got Kenny Golladay, who might have had one of the worst first-year wide receiver 1 free agency contract years.
It was just flat out one of the worst free agency contract years ever. Not even just receiver. It was just one of the worst years ever.
It was really bad. And then you had Kadarius Toney, who was injury-prone, injury-plagued. You had Sterling Shepard, who tore his Achilles. And then you have an offensive line that's just not good.
No. The offensive line that is horrendous.
So, where did the Giants go?
The Giants go crying a corner because they're going to continue the streak of being the only team in the last 5 years to not have a one winning season. It's going to extend 10 years, then 15 years, then 20 years, then 30 years.
For so many years, the Giants have owned MetLife Stadium. And not actually own paper copy. No, they have ruled MetLife Stadium. The Jets stink, but they might rule.
The Jets are the best team of the two. The Jets are definitely the best team of the two. I have way more faith in the Jets over the next 1, 3, 5 years than I do the Giants.
I saw someone on Twitter a couple of guys that he has not given up on yet, and Zach Wilson was in there. I'm like,
what do you mean? He's said a rookie season. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm thinking, Has someone given up on him? What's happening?
Yeah. His rookie season was probably the worst of all starting quarterbacks.
No. Trey Lance, he didn't see the field.
Get out of here.
Got him.
Yeah.
Or Kyle Trask.
Yeah, at that point, you can say Kyle Trash, because Kyle is trash. But anyway, of all the starting quarterbacks, he probably had the worst rookie season of the bunch. It was not very good.
Fields wasn't good.
I would take Justin Fields' rookie season over Zach Wilson's.
But stats.
But he still has enough to show that he is worth having that faith in and worth taking that chance on, because like he dominated the last year of college, and he still shows enough flashes at the NFL level where like, why would you ever give up on him this early?
And I was shocked when you said that you would take Mike White over Zach Wilson.
Oh, of course. Yeah. The week 8, week 9 legend, whatever it was.
Yeah. I'm looking up their stats right now so I can prove you wrong. Sorry, give me a sec.
I've given you way more than a sec.
Okay, my computer isn't loading. Give me yours.
Okay, who are you?
I'm looking up Justin Fields.
Okay, I'll
look up Zach Wilson.
I can do that for you.
Even though you might skew his stats.
What am I gonna do? Lie?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yards, touchdowns, interception, quarterback rating.
Can I find that on PFR?
Maybe. I'm on ESPN.
Okay.
I'll just give you Justin Fields while we're waiting.
Okay, I've got Zach Wilson. You go out first though.
Justin Fields, 1870 for passing yards.
Okay. Through 13 starts, Zach Wilson was 23-34.
How many starts did he have? It's not showing me. Freaking.
Go to Pro Football Reference.
12 games played, not starts, but games played they have.
This is games played and games started because he started when he was healthy.
Touchdowns, 7.
9.
Interceptions, 10.
11.
So they're like right on track. QBR, 26.4.
28.2.
Zach Wilson's better. There we go. Nailed it.
No. The at least rushing upside that Justin Fields showed when he was allowed to run the ball, by allowed to, meaning that the day that Matt Nagy wasn't there, was actually like promising, where Zach Wilson didn't have the opportunity to do that really.
Zach Wilson's elite.
Justin Fields are way more flashy than Zach Wilson, and I know you're going to agree with me on that one.
I mean, I just want both to have a lot of success.
Of course you do.
Because I'm rooting for them.
Oh, because on your
You
dynasty
don't
teams.
you don't root for people?
No, I've rooted for plenty of people, but they both happen to be on your dynasty teams.
That actually did not even come to my mind. Like I'm not a dynasty hungry hippo like you.
Okay.
I just like them through the process of everything. So
I agree. I'm rooting for them both. Go ahead, get angry. Go ahead, do something about it. Yeah.
I just want to move on to Saquon. He is discussed in trade rumors right now. I'm seeing a lot of people say, "Hey, Chiefs, go out and get him." I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe it does, but I don't think so. What do you think Saquon's market looks like, and then what do you think it could be an ideal place for him to go?
I think you sent it in the Twitter group chat. The one that would be really fun is Kansas City because of the potential elite offense. I don't know if you or someone sent it in the Twitter group chat, but like that would be a potential elite offense. But in terms of teams that need a running back, the Cardinals need a running back, the Falcons need a running back, the Dolphins need a running back. Those 3 teams that I think could you could potentially see a fit in somewhere. And he would go and get all the immediate work and would be better than most people. I mean, he'd be better than almost every other running back in the league. Maybe five guys or so you could say that I would rather than him right now.
I love that restaurant.
Okay. But anyways, he's a legitimately talented running back, and he's not going to be the 1,800-yard rusher by any means. That's not who he was coming out of college. He was the guy that you could trust to have 80 yards on the ground and then 80 yards through the air in the same game. Be like a CMC, but more of a power like runner type style, who also has that elite like athleticism too. So he could really fit in about any offense. Anybody could tailor their offense around him. And I really think that if like the Cardinals are going to try to go all in, that could be like a potential fit depending what they need to give up.
Personally, I don't know. In my mind, I don't know if he gets traded, because I feel like his value for all 31 teams that aren't named the Giants is 3rd max, absolute max. But the Giants see his talent and are like, come on, give me a second. Give me something. Like, I need something for Saquon Barkley to get rid of him. So I just don't know if any team is going to come close to with what the Giants want for a trade to actually happen.
How about this? Kind of do like an inverse DeAndre Hopkins trade. So they traded David Johnson in a 2nd for D-Hops. Now they're going to trade Christian Kirk in a 3rd for Saquon. Another guy who is being heavily overvalued and would flop at his new team for a running back who could potentially go out and be a stud.
Why would the Giants need Christian Kirk?
No, just because the Texans didn't need David Johnson. It's the only reason. Just an inverse of this trade.
Well, didn't they though? Who was their running back at the time? Lamar Miller?
Yeah, but they didn't need David Johnson so bad to give up frickin' DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, yeah.
is the thing. That's where my problem lies. But in reality, I think the Cardinals would be one of the, a couple teams, maybe the only team that would give up close to what the Giants want, just because they could really use that pushover piece.
Saquon travels from New Jersey to New York to Buffalo.
What'd I say?
Well, you said Arizona. I'm saying
you're saying maybe. Mm-hmm. I could see that. I would rather them draft one of the 8 guys I'm going to talk about, Buffalo, personally.
One of the 8, so you'd rather your 8 guy go there rather than...
No. I would be okay with Saquon going there. It just for the Bills being a tertiary team that I root for, for the right price, sure, why not? I would be okay with the Bills giving up a future second or a current third. Honestly, I would be okay with that.
All right, let's now move on finally to the Bucs GM, Jason. What is it, Licht? I think it's Licht. He said he's leaving the light on for Tom Brady's return.
He's coming back.
I mean, no surprise.
He's coming back.
You think 100% Brady's coming back?
I don't know. This is weird. I would say no to this season, but down the road, I really wouldn't completely doubt him trying again. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that it's very understandable to want to leave the light on for the GOAT. But at the same time, a lot of stuff that has come out with Bruce Arians and Jason, it seems as almost if they're pleading for him to come back.
Yeah. Okay. In all fairness, would you not be in their situation?
Just let the guy retire. He won you a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but now you got to transition to Kyle Trask, find a free agent, or draft one of these quarterbacks, and they're not going to trade up to draft one of these quarterbacks. So they're going to be left with Kyle Trask or a free agent. They're in trouble.
Go get A-Rod. Not going to happen.
No.
But
they're legitimately going to go from an almost Super Bowl team to...
Yeah, it's bad.
To a bottom 5 team league. It's legitimately possible, especially with Chris Godwin going to be on the move.
And we didn't talk about it. Ali Marpet, he retires.
Yeah, he did. What
offensive line.
Legend of the game. Honestly, the guy goes from D3 to winning a freaking Super Bowl as a starting left guard, making $30 million, calling it quits at 29 years old. What a life.
Yeah, only played for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, that's unreal. Good for him. But they have a legitimate chance to go from heroes to zero, which would suck because they got a few guys in the roster I really like. I really like Mike Evans. I really like Vita Vea. I really like Antoine Winfield. But it really could just fall apart.
Bring Jimmy Garoppolo.
That could be a transition that actually makes sense, and that could help them maybe fight for a playoff spot.
How angry would Tom Brady be?
Oh, that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. I didn't even think about that part.
They make the trade, and then Tom Brady says, hey, I'm coming out of retirement.
Oh, my God. And they would take him back in a heartbeat. They wouldn't even be a debate. Be like, okay, here's your contract back. And then Jimmy G would just be sitting on the bench again.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
It's all right. All right. Well, it's time. Let's get into our top 8 running backs.
Woohoo.
I don't know if the people have noticed, but I'm wearing a Sparty hat because, well, there's going to be a guy we're talking about here soon.
Who?
Okay. All right. Well, our top 8 running backs coming into the 2022 NFL Draft. Chase, we'll start with your list. Go 1 to 8. Let me know, and then I'll go, and then we'll talk about it.
Oh, you're gonna have so many problems with this.
If there is a guy in there that we've talked about, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'll leave it at that. You can go ahead.
Number 1, I have Kenneth Walker III out of Michigan State, my number 1 running back in the class, who I also do have a first-round grade on.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
I was a little surprised too, not going to lie. But I've obviously watched him play during the season, but I went back and watched things a little more slowed down in depth and heard some other people's comments and stuff, and that's what felt right to me.
Huh.
But anyway.
Trying to please me, I see.
No. Anyway, number 2, I have running back from Notre Dame, Kyren Williams.
Wow.
Number 3.
This is a list.
Running back from Iowa State, Breece Hall.
Okay.
Number 4, running back from Texas A&M, Isaiah Spiller.
Okay.
Number 5, running back from Georgia, Zamir White.
Okay.
Number 6, running back from Florida, Dameon Pierce. Number 7, running back from Cincinnati, Jerome Ford. Number 8, running back from Georgia, James Cook.
Oh, yikes. You had the one guy in there that I just hate.
Is it Jerome Ford?
It is.
Really?
I do not like Ford whatsoever, but we'll get into that.
Interesting.
We'll get into that. So let's go with my 1 through 8. We got number 1, Breece Hall from Iowa State. He is actually, I don't want to say by far and away, but he's a notch above my 2 and 3. So, like, I really like him. There was not many things that I could nitpick about him. Number 2, Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. Number 3, Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State University. Number 4, Kyren Williams out of Notre Dame. Number 5.
I just realized what you said. I never thought you would have Isaiah Spiller above Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the projection into the NFL, in my opinion.
Okay.
But we can keep talking about that. Again, number 4 was Kyren Williams.
Yes.
Number 5, James Cook out of Georgia. Number 6, Brian Robinson out of Alabama. I know you don't like that one, so
No, I don't.
we'll be talking about that. Number 7, did I say? Did I get the?
You 7 right now. You're at 7 now.
Yes,
You said 6, Brian Robinson.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Number 7, you're number 6, and one of my favorite running backs in the class, Dameon Pierce. Absolutely love him. And then number 8, I'm going to your team, Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. He's a guy that surprised me when I watched tape. Kind of similar to what you said about Kenneth Walker, like you knew he'd be high, but not sure how high. Hassan Haskins was one of those guys where I didn't expect him to be in my top 8, but after watching film, I'm like, he's right there.
So I told you I had a top 7, and then 8 through like 12 I could really fluctuate between. They're all pretty close in my rankings. So just for reference, my 9 through 12 is Jerian Ely out of Ole Miss, Hassan Haskins out of Michigan, Zonovan Knight out of NC State, and then Brian Robinson out of Alabama.
Dang, you don't have the one guy that is one of my hot honorable mentions that I actually really like. He was my number 9.
Is it Tyler Algier?
No.
Because I think Tyler Algier sucks.
I do too.
I think he's terrible.
Let's see where I have him right now.
Oh, he's gonna look up his name, hear me just scream how terrible he is, and come find me.
He's one of the last running backs I have ranked.
Who is it?
But my number 9 is Ty Chandler out of UNC.
Oh, okay. You know, I
really like him.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't give him a good enough look because I only watched one game and I can't remember what game it was. I was like, he looks fine, but you know, I'm not gonna like whatever. And then I saw a lot more deeper stats on him last night. He's like, I probably should give this guy a second look.
Yeah, I've got Zonovan Knight there as well. All-time name, gotta say.
It is great. Great
name. And then Sincere McCormick, I love that name. He's not in my top 12, top 13, but
no, but he is interesting a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about the guys that actually matter.
Let's do it. So
let's talk about KW3 first, please.
Okay, we'll talk about K9.
Because, like, why is it K9? Is that what he was at?
His number is
Wake Forest?
number 9. No.
Okay, that's what he was at State?
Yeah.
Okay.
His number is 9.
Beautiful. Well, anyway, so I do have a first round grade on him. Where I have him ranked, it is like a bottom half of the first round. It's closer to a second round pick. Like he meets the threshold, but it's not like it's like far and above. Anyway, he has the best vision as a runner in this running back class, and I don't think it's particularly
100%.
close. It is already elite for an NFL level in my eyes. Even if you go back and look at Wake Forest, the way they made him run, they talk about it, they make him like essentially walk up to the line, wait, and then run. And that gives the defense so much time to react and adjust. And he still found ways to have success that once he was allowed to go to State and do it his way, where he was allowed to react a second quicker, he just dominated and had a Heisman type season. So it's not like it's anything new for Kenneth Walker. He's been really good since he walked onto Wake Forest, but he was just able to finally showcase still at State. But incredible patience and reaction time, as I just mentioned, approaching the line. He's not just a straight line type runner. He can get side to side. He, at his build, he offers a good mix of having enough power to, break some tackles and get away from some guys while having a great, agility, acceleration, speed type of skill set. His only question is what's going on in the passing game. Mm-hmm. Is he has such a small sample receiving work, and this is the toughest part about running backs in the NFL, or like going into the NFL, I should say. For these guys, if they've had a clear, passing volume and it didn't work, then you could be like, okay, he's not a good pass catcher. But he just hasn't had the volume. That's not the way that State really ran. They didn't hyper focus their running backs like some college teams do, like some pro teams do. So he really didn't have a ton of catches, but he could go into the NFL and surprise, or you go into the NFL and disappoint in that aspect. I don't know. We'll see. And then his pass protection too is, a little bit weaker,
mm-hmm.
but I figure he's going to be the type of back anyway, where a team in a heavier running style offense is going to draft him and work him 300 carries a year.
The Doak Walker Award winner, best running back in college football this year. Went to the alma mater, so absolutely love the guy. And I couldn't think of a specific comparison that I liked for Kenneth Walker.
It's hard.
But not when it comes to his play style, but how he can be used. I think he could be aligned with like Nick Chubb. Like very different running backs, but in the fact that he is such a good runner, but he does need help in that passing game. Similar with Nick Chubb. You know, he's on the field when it comes to those first down, second downs, but then they bring in Kareem Hunt to switch it up for third down because he needs a little bit help there. But when it comes to pure running ability, he's one of the tops.
I like that a lot. And Nick Chubb, you can still really trust him for 20 catches a year too. Like you truly can. You don't have to give him a heavy workload because you can just trust him running the ball and then throw to him, on a screen, or if you need to put him on a pass play for a reason, like you can do that. And I think Kenneth Walker can do the same type of thing.
Yeah, and the only thing that was real problematic for me when it came to Kenneth Walker is exactly what you're saying in the passing game, but specifically when it comes to pass protection, being able to step up for the quarterback, he has the ability to take on the defensive players, but the one thing he lacks for me when I was watching his film is his vision in where the line needs the most help. There's times where I see him go chip a left guard when the left tackle's getting beat. So that needs to step up a little bit, and I think he can work on that when he gets to the next level.
We've seen players improve on it.
Yeah, and when he gets to the top level of coaching, he'll be able to notice that more often, I think. I think he's going to be able to pick it up. And then when it comes to actually as a receiver, he was just way too slow getting out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Like, just get into your route. Go. But he often would try to sell the play action so hard that there was people in the backfield already by the time he actually got out and went to his route. So, again, I think he can catch the ball. He can get it done as a receiver, but it's just little things that are keeping him from being at that next level. So, but I love him. But
to continue on that point where you couldn't think of a direct like play style comparison, those are the type of guys that you like to see. If they're an elite producing player and you don't have a direct comparison, odds are they're going to find ways to succeed in the NFL. Like those types of players are the ones that have the most success. Like they're the Calvin Johnsons, they're the Kyle Pitts. Like they're those are two guys that are great examples. Like Calvin being that size with that speed was unseen at receiver, probably the best receiver in the game ever. You could argue, for sure top 3. Kyle Pitts had, maybe the best rookie tight end season other than Mike Ditka's tight end season. I think he's the only guy that ever had like more yards than him. But 1,000 yards receiving season at tight end is just incredible. And like it's two guys that just everything's unique about them. Like their size, speed, athleticism combination is just unique. And Kenneth Walker, his build compared to his skill set, the way he gets it done, it all is a little bit unique. So it's something that I don't know how exactly you factor it into his grade, but I did find a way to factor it into the grade.
I can't wait to see him play, and him and Isaiah Spiller for me. I know you said you had a late first round grade on Kenneth Walker. Those two for me have a high end second round. But let's go to my number 1, Breece Hall, who I actually have a first round grade on. There's not a lot of things that I could nitpick for him. He's physical. He's fast. He's got good vision. I think Spiller and Kenneth Walker's vision are both better, but I think his vision is perfectly fine. There's not a huge issue there. Breaks tackles like crazy. Like whether it be physical or elusive, he's getting out of the first, the second, maybe even the third tackle. I think he's actually really solid in pass protection with solid hands out of the backfield. And the one comparison for me that stuck out right away is a running back from last year, Javonte Williams.
I disagree.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I think he is a copy and paste mold of David Montgomery.
No, David Montgomery's small too.
Yeah, but in terms of how he runs and how he wins, copy and paste.
Yeah, I disagree heavily because I don't see David Montgomery being able to put his head down and absolutely blowing someone up. I don't see him.
That's what he does.
There's been a couple of plays, not to the level of Breece Hall.
But Breece Hall's doing it in college. David Montgomery did the same things in college too.
Yeah, I don't know if I see it.
All right, well, whatever. You can have your opinion.
I think he's more of a Javonte.
Yeah, and I don't know. But anyway, continue your analysis.
That's basically where I was at. Like Javonte, but also running style-wise, I even saw a little prime David Johnson, which I don't like to really say that because, David Johnson, his career kind of fell off after all the injuries. But those are the two running backs that came to mind right away. And I just really like a lot of the things that he does. There's I would say he is the most wow moment player I saw on film when it came to running backs. There was a lot of times where I've seen him break 3 tackles in the middle of the defense. Like, it wasn't even on the outside. There was a lot of moments where I'm like, how did he do that?
Yeah, no, he is definitely interesting to watch because he's not an elite athletic playmaker, but he definitely is like a just a strong playmaker, like in terms of how he gets done.
I think he's got plenty of speed.
It's like that's not the problem. Like, he has speed, but he's not just someone that's gonna like go out and spin move, juke, break your ankles, and just be super elusive. But he can hit the second level and maintain a good pace down the field, 100%. But the only thing it is with me is I don't think he's anything more than a solid tackle evader, which is fine. Like he can break tackles with the best of them. Like how Derrick Henry breaks tackles nonstop, left, right, center in the NFL. I don't think that Breece Hall's gonna do it at that level, but like, he can do it. At a level better than most guys. It's just I don't know. I don't see him being an every down type back. I really don't. I don't know if he's gonna get enough receiving work or be useful enough as a receiver. I think it's kind of like Kenneth Walker. Again, another team that's going to trust him to run the ball a bunch. I think he'll have the most success in.
Very interesting. Definitely seeing players a bit differently here.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching Breece Hall, when he came to talking about, breaking tackles, like, he's good, but he's not like amongst the best of them. The only time I saw him not break tackles.
No, I evading tackles.
Or
breaking.
Or even evading tackles. The only time I didn't see that was when there was 5 men in the backfield right as he got the ball, and when the offensive line just completely collapsed. Like, there was multiple times I saw him on the outside make a catch and, evade 7 tack, not 7. But
he breaks them, but like he's not gonna it's in the NFL. He's not gonna juke guys out even close to what he does in college. Like, not even close. Like, he's gonna have to win a lot more with power, which he can. Don't get me wrong. I think he can and be a pretty damn effective NFL running back. And where I have him graded is it is a high level. It is a higher-ish level running back coming into the NFL. Like, I think he can have success. I just don't know how much usage he'll get. Because I really think a team's going to try to find someone better as a receiver.
Interesting. But you don't with Kenneth Walker.
No, because I think he's so talented as a running back, the teams are going to want to figure it out.
Huh. Interesting. Like, I think Breece Hall way better in the pass game than Kenneth Walker is as of right now. Obviously, that could change, but Kenneth Walker best runner. I don't think Breece Hall is very far behind.
I think there's a decent gap.
All right, we both have a 2 and 4 now. You've got Kyren Williams at 2. I've got him at 4. Isaiah Spiller's my 2. You have him at your 4.
I guarantee you, I have Isaiah Spiller higher rated than you have Kyren Williams rated because. I've
got Kyren Williams in the mid-second round.
Yeah, but I have Kyren Williams, Breece Hall, and Isaiah Spiller pretty much similarly graded.
Okay, so we'll talk about Isaiah Spiller then. I think either way, whichever way we went, whether it be Spiller or Williams, you're getting a guy that's more elusive than he is power compared to these last two guys. Isaiah Spiller, patient, but the thing that I really liked about him is I've coached flag football for 5 years. Obviously, that's nothing serious. But the one thing that was preached hard is don't go backwards. Never go backwards. Never go side. Just go forward. And Isaiah Spiller was one of those guys who was very patient, similar levels of patience to a Le'Veon Bell. But the thing was, he knew when he had to get upfield. If it was collapsing on him, he just goes for it. That's one thing that I absolutely loved. He didn't try to be cute with it behind the offensive line. He's a much better player in the passing game than these other two we've talked about. Mm-hmm. And I see him very similarly, actually, to a Joe Mixon, who is on my favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals. So I really like him. He breaks tackles. He does well in open space. The one thing that I did have a little gripe is he doesn't seem to have that breakaway speed. There's been a couple of times where I've seen him get caught from behind, but overall, I think he's a very good running back.
I agree pretty much with everything you said here. I think it's a better receiver, but less of a runner than Joe Mixon.
I agree.
So it's someone who is going to be one hell of a weapon in the receiving game because he can, run a route free from the backfield. He can catch the ball. He has sure enough hands. He understands how to, catch the ball as a receiver and how to, continue to run after the catch too. So it really is impressive there. He is a good blocker too. You can use him on third down in pass protection. He's able to find guys, that are trying to blitz the quarterback. He can pick up blocks well. and how you said with how he is behind the line, especially as it's collapsing. I wrote he bounces around defenders and offensive linemen with ease. Like he doesn't sit there and just like, which way to go, this way. He goes like, it's jump and then jump right into the next hole that opened up because he just had the right right touch on it, I guess is the word I want to use. So I think he can find some success as a runner. I don't think he's going to be an elite runner because of that speed. He's going to get caught. He's not going to have those big plays. But he's going to offer, a great combination in terms of receiving and rushing that a team will take a shot on him.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me a little bit with Isaiah Spiller and having him at number 2 is really the lack of production this year. Like, only 1,000 yards, only 7 total touchdowns. And it's not like he's like a James Cook where he only got just above 100 carries. He got 180.
Yeah.
So, like, I am a little bit nervous about that, but I think at that next level, a team will find the perfect spot for him, and he'll be able to get it done. So, let's talk about your number 2 now, that being Kyren Williams out of Notre Dame.
Man, I liked Kyren Williams a lot as, like, a good potential fantasy option as a running back coming into this draft before I watched his film. I was like, he can be more than just that. It's really tempting, his pass catching ability. I think he's the best pass catcher at the running back position in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
It really is impressive how he is as a pass protector too. Like for his size, he's a smaller running back. And what are you saying? What are you being iffy about?
Sorry, I just forgot about James Cook. I think James.
Cook,
you know what? I think he rivals Kyren Williams.
I could see either side of that. I'm still going to lean Kyren Williams, but I could definitely see either side of that. But anyway, for this guy's size, the way he blocked at the college level was really impressive. I think he's going to be able to do well, at the NFL level too. So that's going to be something that helps him get on the field right away. Outside of just the receiving game, where I think he is elite, there's nothing he doesn't have except for size. He has breakaway speed. He has impressive agility. He's able to break tackles down at a Breece Hall rate, but he's able to break tackles enough where he can gain a couple extra yards on the run. It's just, he's got everything I want, and it is not like Kenneth Walker, but similar in a way where it's a slightly unique size. Not a lot of guys in the NFL found success at this level, but are at this not a lot of guys. How did I word that? It sounded so weird coming out of my mouth.
There's a lot of running backs this size that don't see the opportunity.
That's the word I'm looking for.
The skill they might have.
I don't know why that sounded so weird coming out of my mouth, but it's exactly what I'm trying to say.
I think it was Danny Cannell. He was talking about Kyren Williams and a player to look at the scouting combine. And he was like, yeah, he's a little bit smaller, 5'9", but there's been a lot of running backs who have had success at that 5'9" height, like Barry Sanders. I'm like, can we stop this narrative?
Yeah, don't call him Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is exactly what it is. The unicorn player. Exactly what that is.
And it's legitimately any running back under 5'10". They're always like, well, Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Stop, please.
Yeah, no. I think Kyren Williams can legitimately be a very good NFL running back. Like someone that I would probably put him as a 1A, 1B type guy where you pair him with someone else who can, ease the workload. Like you don't have to give him more than 200 carries a year plus his receptions. Like that, if that number would be great, then you can give, someone with a little more power, someone just to kind of change the pace, 120 carries. That would be a really good balance for Kyren Williams in an NFL offense. And that's enough of a workload where I would take this guy in the second round.
Yeah, and like I said, I've got a mid-second round grade on him. The one thing that makes him my 4 instead of, being a little bit higher is just overall his physical ability is not as up to par with these other 3 in my mind. But the one thing that I absolutely love with Kyren Williams, and I agree with most of the things he said, but the one thing that I absolutely love about Kyren Williams that I don't put the same title. I don't put the same title on these other 3. The dude is a gamer. Like, similar to Baker Mayfield, Sam Howell, these are guys that are going to take a hit rather than slide. These are guys that are going to do everything they can. I saw so many times Kyren Williams, there'd be a QB draw, and he's out there blocking for the QB. He's going all out 100%, 110% of the time. Like, these other 3 backs, it's not like they're going hard. They are. But there's just a different level when I put the title gamer, and that's what Kyren Williams has.
I get that.
And all 4 of those backs I have as NFL starters.
Oh, absolutely. So, they're guys that you feature prominently in your offense.
Yeah. All right, now we get to the little iffy part.
Yeah.
We both have Georgia running backs at 5.
It's just different ones.
Just different running backs.
Since we both have James, you don't have Zamir White in your top 8, correct?
I don't.
So since we both have James Cook, we can talk about James Cook.
Sure. James Cook, my number 5 out of Georgia. A little bit of a smaller guy, didn't get as much workload, but you can't really expect that when you're in Georgia and you've got 4 running backs working all at the same time. All caps, fast. Dude is quick. He can move. Dangerous with the ball in his hands. And I think specifically after the catch when he's in open space. He's very versatile. I think he can be a running back in the NFL. I would not be shocked if he moves to a wide receiver type of position. Great receiver. Vision, solid at best. I think there is a little bit of work that needs to be done there. He can be a little bit careless with his yardage too. When I say that, you think of Isaiah Spiller. I said he knows when to get upfield. He doesn't do anything cute. James Cook at times can try to get a little bit cute, but I think he's very good in pass protection. So he's a guy that I like a lot, and it's very easy to say a James Cook comparison could be his brother Dalvin Cook. I think, no, absolutely not. I think the closest resemblance to him would be Alvin Kamara type. Much better in the receiving game than his brother.
I think a closer comparison is more of J.D. McKissick. And J.D. McKissick is absolutely elite NFL receiving back. Don't get it twisted, people. Like, he is, whether you want to believe that or not, he is great at that role. And I think that's what James Cook is going to succeed at. He will be a great NFL receiving back. Like, I will lock it in. He'll be a great receiving back. I just question everything else about his game. Not like everything outside of the passing game. Not like question in a bad way, but like.
I think he can be a better runner than J.D. McKissick.
Yeah, he could. I don't see it being impossible, but as of right now, I just don't have it that way. You know, the only thing he's shown above, you know, just a good level is the pass game. Everything else is it's just solid. Like he's a solid runner. He's got solid vision. He can break tackles at a solid level, evade tackles at a solid level. Just do everything kind of solidly. It really is just like, you know, I think the role he could take on is what Cordell Patterson actually did with Atlanta this year, especially towards the end of the season when they stopped running him as much. They just like threw the ball, or beginning season, whatever the hell it was. I don't know. I got my season mixed up. But anyway, when Cordell Patterson was pretty much just receiving the ball and then getting like 8 carries at max as well, I think that's perfect for James Cook. Like if you can do that with him, he's going to be an extremely efficient player for you. If you let him, if you lay with him getting 3.5 to 4 yards to carry like at the max, and then he can have 10 yards per reception, that is an awesome running back that I currently have a day 3 grade on, but it's literally a 1/10 of a point up. Like, and it's a day 2 grade. That's how close he is.
And I will say this, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. Don't take our talk about James Cook being a receiving back as just a third down running back that doesn't see much time. He's going to be an absolute weapon for whatever team he gets him. Like, he's going to have a more prominent role than a standard third down running back. Like, I think he is going to be a guy that sees multiple plays, whether it be first down, second down, third down, multiple plays on a single drive. He's going to be a good player. I think it just comes mostly in the form of the receiving game.
I do agree. Like, if he had 8 carries a game plus 6-7 targets a game, just carries, that's 128 carries, and then the 6 targets, that would be 72 targets. Like right there, that's 200. Like if he gets, let's call those catches. So say he gets that's 200 touches on the season. That is a very good workload. Someone that you trust as an offensive playmaker for you. Yeah, and that's what I could legitimately see him doing with holding and having a chance to succeed through the NFL. I was really surprised at the end of the day how these running backs actually turned out for me. I did not.
I was surprised for you too.
I didn't. You know, I thought I was going to have like 4 guys day 2 grades and the rest for me day 3, but I had, 7 guys that were firmly day 2 grades. And then James Cook was the next guy pretty close, that talked about the same with Zonovan Knight and Brian Robinson and Hassan Haskins. Those guys are just like right there.
Do you want to talk about your number 5, Zamir White, or would you rather hit on Dameon Pierce so we get all of our similarities out of the way and then we move on to our differences? Let's
hit on Dameon.
All right, you've got him at 6, so
I do.
I'll let you go first on him.
So honestly, I think from what I saw, he lacks superstar athleticism, but he is a very quality runner who still can hit the outside and do some damage. Like he's able to, get pass the offensive line, hit the sidelines, and get downfield. Like, he's got that true running back ability. Some questions are raised for me on why he was used so little at Florida while looking good in his film, because it's not like it's a school that, we're a pass heavy team every year. We're not changing that no matter what. No, Florida can fluctuate from a pass heavy team to a run heavy team. Like they've done that in the past. You've seen that happen. So the fact that he was used so little, it's like, what do they know that the other people don't know right now? Do they know that if he gets 20 touches a game, like just on the ground, he's not going to hold up, that he's going to have a bad yard per carry? I don't know. Maybe he's someone that is better off just, getting sparingly used. I don't know. I could see him, having a potential at, being a starter for an NFL team if things kind of hit right for him. I think he's going to be better off going in and being like a team's number 2, like from the get go. I think he's got a chance, if, like, I'm not comparing him to Alexander Madison exactly, but like what Alexander Madison does for Minnesota. He plays a good backup role, and all of a sudden he's to start a game and he can have a big game. I think Dameon Pierce can do the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to a running back poor team if he could overtake a starter. Like, if he goes to maybe even a Kansas City, I wouldn't be shocked if he can usurp Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Remind me about Clyde Edwards-Helaire after the Dameon Pierce thing, because there's one thing that I really want to talk about actually with him that I forgot about. But the first time I heard about Dameon Pierce, I was doing research after the Senior Bowl, and this was amongst everyone. And so I wanted to look at the winners, the losers, and so many articles I read had Dameon Pierce as the number 1 winner when it came to the running backs because he really showed out. And there was one quote specifically that really resonated with me while watching film. It seems criminal that he wasn't on the field more for Florida. I mean, he only had 100 carries, only 19 receptions. So he just did not get the workload, which I think is crazy. He's an explosive back. I think he's got really good vision. He is the only other guy in this running back class that I also have the gamer title on, him and Kyren Williams. He welcomes the physicality, only 5'10", and there is some question that he might be closer to 5'9", but he's great in pass protection, and he's very capable in the receiving game, too. I think he should have played a lot more.
I agree. The only school that I'm going to give them a pass for using running backs so little is Georgia.
Right.
Because Kirby Smart pitches to his running backs. I heard this probably a month ago, and it makes sense. He pitches to running backs when recruiting them, and why he gets so many of these star guys. I'm going to keep you healthy and get you prepared for the NFL at the same time. You're not going to get a lot of touches, but I promise you, once you get to the NFL, you're going to be ready to play for a long time. And it makes sense why he has 4 or 5 stars in at one time and gives all the guys a little bit of touches here and there, which is why I have a higher grade on Zamir White based on what I've seen, based on what I know too, based on all of that. Like, I don't want to think we'll talk about him when we get there. Anyway, we'll move on from that point for now. But, that's the one team I give it a pass on. Florida, I don't know if it's bad coaching. I don't know if it was for a reason or not. Whatever the hell, we're going to find out pretty damn soon. Yeah,
I agree. I wanted to go to that Clyde Edwards-Helaire point real quick.
Yep.
I saw someone say that the Kenneth Walker hype this offseason is the same as Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Disagree.
He is only a running back that's getting the hype because of one season and a possible situation. He's not actually a good running back. I saw that. I'm like, you did not just compare Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kenneth Walker.
Stop saying that. Why do you even say that? That makes me mad because
I think he was our 4th or 5th running back ranked, easily, into the 2nd or 3rd round.
He was someone that you could have seen, maybe he could find some success, but he'd be one hell of a complimentary piece, like a 1B type running back. That's how I thought of him coming into the NFL, and I still think that's the case. If he can be a 1B, he'd be great somewhere. But to be the dude to be a first round pick, I questioned it. A lot of people did. Made no sense. So to compare them, I gotta heavily disagree. And they're different receivers, different running backs, too. Yeah. Because Clyde is actually a guy that you can trust for sure in the receiving game. Coming into the NFL, you could be like, okay, this guy had enough of a workload at LSU that we're going to trust him as a running back. Where the question lives to Kenny Walker. Can he be a receiving back? Who knows? But Kenneth Walker's elite. Clyde's not.
Yeah, I was just floored by that. And so when the name got brought up, I had to talk about it. All right, let's get to your number 5, that being Zamir White out of Georgia.
Oh, yes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I am the only one that has him on this list. I will so happily be right at the end of the day.
You won't be.
I will bet you any amount of money that he is at worst the 5th best running back in this draft class.
The 5th best.
Yeah, pending like a career-ending injury, obviously, because like a career-ending injury can happen to anybody.
Right. What's our timeline?
5 years.
Okay.
And we'll know after 5 years. Like we'll know. We'll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he won't even be a starter in 5 years, but
he's going to be a starter this year. Was the thing.
He's not.
I guarantee you, Zamir White goes on day 2. Guarantee it. I'll bet another $10 on that.
No, why would I? No. Day 2? That's how many picks?
That's through the 3rd round.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, there's going to be 6 or 7 running backs drafted before him. And he's still going to go day 2.
I don't care.
Okay.
We're talking about the player, not where he goes.
Whatever. You're scared.
I don't care what terrible franchises think about a guy who's not very good. But
I mean, he is pretty damn good. He was elite 5-star coming out of high school for a reason.
And that's all he did.
Dude, if you watch it this season, when he got touched this year, he finally started looking good. Yeah, he struggled first couple years, showed a couple flashes. This year, he looked consistently good. It's just, it's just so little workload that it was hard to see what he does if he has the ability to get into a rhythm. So I'm giving him a pass like I do all Georgia running backs. I'm putting more faith in him like I do all Georgia running backs. And really, my only question for him, and I don't factor previous injuries into a running back's ranking unless it clearly slows them down. And his injuries do. His injuries do definitely, they remove some of his explosiveness that he showed coming out of high school, but he still has enough of this athletic ability where he can get side to side. He can, hit the holes. He can really break tackles. He's kind of a true all-purpose back. Like, he can do everything. I could trust him enough as a receiver, not like someone like CMC level, but enough as a receiver where you get him 3 catches a game. You can trust him as a power back on the goal line. You can use him on your own 20. You can use him in any situation as a running back. He has the right size for it. He has the ideal NFL build. It just, as long as he holds up, is my only concern. I have him as, my 5th running back for a reason, because I think he is going to go to a team and, pending he goes, like an AJ Dillon situation where he gets drafted behind Aaron Jones and has to sit no matter what about the draft capital. And he's looking better than Aaron Jones now, by the way. But pending that situation, like, he's going to come in and be an immediately used player, maybe even the starter. Like, I just guarantee it.
Yeah, I see him as a little bit better Elijah Holyfield, who also came out of Georgia.
That is so unbelievably wrong.
The speed and explosion, it's okay. I think the vision, he lacks vision a little bit. And the number one thing that I saw and that I've been told by, obviously, I've got Georgia ties in my family, and my dad literally records games and we'll watch them 3 times over. The number one thing that is Zamir White's problem is he's a physical running back that loses his legs when he gets hit. Like, immediately. Once he gets hit, he does not keep his legs turning. He just immediately goes down. And, I mean, I saw a little bit out of the national championship game where it was like, okay, like, he actually kept his legs turning, and this is something I'm actually excited to see. Zamir White actually doing something. But on a consistent basis, he let down based off of what the expectation was. And on a consistent basis, he didn't prove enough for me to even be in my top 12. So
yeah, that's just flat out wrong. But
it's not.
We'll
know in 5 years once you owe me $10.
We'll know this season. But like, I know your dad had those concerns, and I did see that in previous games.
It wasn't concerns. Like, he watched it over and over and over again and was like, okay, yeah, he's not very good.
But here's the that's flat out wrong. But here's the thing.
It's not, though.
I truly think it was an injury prevention type of thing to get him to the NFL, to try to, like, he was told that, like, if you
go down, power, then you won't.
Maybe it'll protect your knees a little bit better. He's trying to give himself that NFL contract, which, like, we saw Nick Bosa just flat out quit halfway through his year before, like, opt-out was a normal thing. Like, literally just, like, I'm going to stop the season. We lost Rentwood and Natty. I'm going to go train.
Yeah, but in the national championship, you don't get hit and go, okay, I'm going down.
He didn't in the national championship. Did. No, we did not.
Yes, he did.
I didn't see a single instance in the national championship.
Well, then rewatch the film.
He only had 6 carries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he looked great on all 6 carries.
Well,
literally all 6.
I did just say he was more impressive in the national championship than he was all around, but still, I just don't see it with him.
Well, that's fine. I can be right. You can be wrong. But I truly do believe.
You keep saying it, but.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not gonna happen.
I truly do believe that we are going to see some very good things out of Zamir White in the NFL.
I will say, though, I do like Zamir White better than your number 7. So we'll talk about him in a little bit.
And hey, if you're going to be wrong on a running back, wouldn't you want it to be Zamir White? Nickname's Zeus, for Pete's sake. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I was such a big fan of him coming out and coming into Georgia, but like,
wouldn't you be happy that he proved you right going into college and has proved you wrong coming out of college?
There's just been so much disappointment, so much.
Just say you're a hater.
All right, let's move to my number 6, that being Brian Robinson. Your hate on my list.
My number 8 through 12.
Yeah,
whatever you want to call him.
So with Brian Robinson, obviously he's a little bit older. He's about to turn 23. It took him a little bit to actually get going, but once he hit the SEC championship game and then the playoffs, he was really rolling. I think he's got good speed, better hands than I actually thought he would have had. I wish he would break a couple more tackles for a guy that plays so big. He's only listed at 6'1", 225, but it seems like he plays a lot bigger than that. Wish he would break a couple more tackles. Vision was okay at best, I thought. He was inconsistent in pass protection. The one thing that really made me nervous about him was sometimes when I'm watching him on the field, he just looks confused. He doesn't really know what's happening. And that definitely worries me. And I know what people are saying. Mike, why do you have him at 6 if most of the things you just listed are negatives? You know why? It's because I don't want to be wrong again. I was wrong when I said Derrick Henry is bad. I don't like him. And then again, he goes off. Okay.
They're so different.
But let me finish. Derrick Henry, a guy who plays very big, was not great to start his career. And as he had that breakout, I said, no, he's not going to have a breakout. He started to have it, and I still said, no, he's not a good running back. It's the offensive line. And I was obviously very wrong about it. Another running back that makes me think this as well, that being Dameon Harris with the Patriots. He plays a bigger game. He's a guy that I was not excited about. He's a guy that coming into this season, he was always questioned, is he actually going to have that breakout or not? And he played pretty well this season. So I just don't want to be wrong. I could very well see someone absolutely loving the size of Brian Robinson, whipping him into shape. And in the college football season, he got better late. And we know with Derrick Henry, he gets better late in the season and late in games. So a guy with that size being able to beat up on smaller opponents, it scares me too much to have his flaws like overtake everything.
So you'd rather be wrong and then have him at the 6th spot than be right and have him in the 8 to 12 spot?
That's fine.
Okay.
Well,
not that that ranking means anything. It's such a small difference.
Also, I just don't think that he, like, I think if he hits, it's going to be a home run. Like, I think he could be a top 12 running back if he hits. I don't know if he does. There's a lot of things that I don't like about his game currently, but if he goes to the right system, gets whipped into shape, I'm so scared that I'm gonna be looking foolish once again.
Well, at the end of the day, if anyone hits, there could be a top 12 running back. Like that's just how it works. If you hit above what's expected, then yeah, you could be an undrafted player that goes on to be a Hall of Famer. Like we see that stuff happen all the time. It's not impossible by any means. I think it's so unlikely. He just has power and is an okay enough catcher. He would not be my pass catching option. He'd be someone I would trust to catch passes when needed, but he would not be my pass catching running back by any means.
Same with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, same thing. He's not a pass catching back. I really don't see anything more than just power, and he has nowhere near the power that Derrick Henry does. Doesn't just make guys cry when they look at him lining up in the backfield. That's just not how Brian Robinson is. Got a day 3 grade on him for a reason. I don't think he does anything elite. He's a very good power back, but he's not elite at it by any means. I think he's someone that really he's going to come in and maybe LeGarrette Blount it, go in and just be a dominant factor in the red zone in short yardage situation, but not someone you give the ball 20 times to.
Who was the running back that just got drafted by the Patriots this year?
Ramondre Stevenson.
I could see him being like a Ramondre Stevenson type role.
Ramondre Stevenson's faster than him though, which decently faster.
Coming out of college, I like Brian Robinson better than Ramondre. I think Brian Robinson has more ability in the pass game. And I should say, I made this huge rant about oh, I'm just scared that he's going to become something that I would be completely wrong about, which is true, but he's still a good running back, in my opinion. Like, good speed, solid hands. He can break tackles. He can be that dominant runner at times where you see him break 2 or 3 tackles and take it to the house. Like, there's flashes from him. So it's not just because I'm scared. It's a little bit of a combination of, I think he's a pretty good running back. If I wasn't scared, Dameon Pierce would certainly be higher than him. Maybe even Ty Chandler, who's not actually on my list, but he's still a good running back in my mind.
I can't see him week in, week out getting like even 10 touches a week. I really can't.
What'd Ramondre get?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it can be a very similar role. I think this is going to be a slow burner. I actually have it in the projection as developmental starter. So I think very well into his career. Obviously, landing situation is huge, but going into his career, if there is a coach willing to work with him and work with that size, he could very potentially become a starter, in my mind.
Let's put it this way: I will in our non-super flex rookie drafts for Dynasty, or one quarterback, I would not take him in the first 2 rounds. Definitely not.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on how situation and everything lands, because you never know. Wide receivers could land in an absolute miserable spot, like we saw last year. There were some wide receivers or was it running backs that landed in really bad spots?
It was a little bit of both.
So either way, bad situations could definitely jump him.
There's really only like one situation I could see myself taking him there is if he somehow goes in the first round, and if a team does that, their GM's getting fired.
Or if he's the only running back taken on the likes of like a Miami. If he's the only running back taken and they don't go after anyone in free agency, like, I'm all in on that. I wouldn't go like top 3 on that, but
no,
he's definitely a guy I'd be interested in.
And I still wonder if Myles Gaskin can get more use on him.
Yeah, I think right away he would. I think he's very developmental with Brian Robinson. All right, are you ready to move into your guy?
Yeah, Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford, yeah.
I don't know why you hate Jerome Ford so much. Apparently, you're just not a fan of the underdog.
I'll tell you what. This was my most watched player because I saw him in top 8 in many lists that I was looking at before I started doing my research. He was my most watched player out of this whole group of running backs, and he's my 13th ranked. I just struggle to find what I love about him.
It's funny because I've seen a lot of stuff where people are higher on him than me, so I thought, maybe even I'm slightly low on him, but apparently I'm not. You're just in the dumps on him. But yeah. He's got great size. He's at about 5'11", 220. We'll see what he officially measures in here in a couple days. I would believe he's measuring and working out at the combine. I don't know why he wouldn't be. But really, here's kind of the notes I have on him. Good size combined with pretty strong vision, in my opinion. Minimally used in the pass game, but shows that he can pass protect, not like an elite level, but he can do it to the point where he can get on the NFL field. Seems like he has a chance to be a featured back, but the lack of shiftiness could limit him a little bit. That's really, I see him more as like the 1B type of guy, possibly just a flat-out backup. Someone, if he is a backup, he'll be the best backup in the NFL, like that type of guy. I really think he can be, or he can go, to a team like Atlanta and go immediately command 250 touches on the year. I think that's really in his wheelhouse. He has enough athleticism, enough straight line speed where I think he can find success and, really prove you wrong, not necessarily be like a yards per attempt monster, like a 4 to 4.5 yards per carry type guy. That's a perfectly good NFL running back right there. I could see him being that type of guy, but I just also, I really think it could go either way. I really think he could have a lot of success, or he could just flat out fail. I don't know which way I want to lean.
To prove me wrong, he'd have to be a day in, day out starter. Like, I would not be angry whatsoever if he's a backup. I'm totally fine with that. What I have for him, a straight line physical back. Like you said, he kind of lacks a little bit of the mobility, elusiveness type. He seemed very straight line to me. I thought his vision was okay at best. His pass protection I thought was actually pretty decent, but the thing that really grinded my gears was it seemed as if he was doing what he was given rather than making plays. The holes that were given to him by the offensive line, he was taking them and taking what he got, But when it came to a point where he actually needed to make the play himself, I didn't see him do that often. And the one running back that he actually reminds me a lot of was Jordan Howard, who was in the league for a while, started with the Bears. We know he was on the Eagles as well. He was one of those running backs where he had the ability to, if he found that hole, he could break it. He could be a fantasy viable player. But once he lost a little bit of that protection, I know Jordan Howard had a little bit of injury issues too, but once he had to make the plays himself, he wasn't as valuable. And I see that very much in Jerome Ford. I think that I just didn't see himself make enough plays.
Yeah, as I said, I think he could be good enough where he could start, but he wouldn't be like in my top even 24 starters in the league. Mm-hmm. It'd be funny if he had a Jordan Howard type of career path, because Jordan Howard's rookie year was actually like impressive. It was mostly based on workload,
right?
But still, regardless, it was impressive. You'd have a giant egg on your face after a rookie season if he was.
I'd be like, just wait, I said Jordan Howard.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. But I do kind of agree with, like, it's a Jordan Howard type of player. But we saw Jordan Howard have a couple games of success this year, which means he still has it in him. It's just maybe he's not a guy that deserves 250 touches a year.
Where even is he now?
Or didn't he just have those games in like Miami or Philly, wherever the hell it was?
I don't think he's on Philly anymore. He might be. I could be wrong.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah,
he is on Philly.
Oh, look at that. If Jerome Ford can like split touches like how Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams do for whatever reason, if he could split touches with a running back, I think that would really benefit him and the NFL team.
Yeah. So those are our thoughts on Jerome Ford. Let's finish it up with my number 8, that being Hassan Haskins out of the University of Michigan. Obviously, you know him well, being a Michigan fan. 22 years of age, 6'1", 220. He had pretty good numbers in college, a lot better than I actually thought. I thought Blake Corum and him were splitting a little bit more. It doesn't really seem like it. It seemed like Hassan Haskins got the bulk of the workload.
It's Corum had some injuries and stuff later on in the year, just so Hassan got a little more work going on for that.
And I do think Blake Corum is the better running back, but and coming into this, I thought the same. But Hassan Haskins surprised me, as I think he's still a pretty solid running back. I got him as a solid runner. His vision can be inconsistent at times. I saw him able to hit the hole at times, but then there was some where he just ran into the back of his offensive lineman. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Solid pass pro. Even though he only had 18 receptions, he was a lot better of a receiver than I thought. I literally thought he just didn't even have the option of being a receiver. He proved me a little bit wrong when I was able to see him actually do that. The one thing that makes him a number 8 in comparison to like a number 1, he doesn't often win his one-on-ones. Like when it comes to breaking out to the outside, there's a lot of times he can get tripped up. And then often I also see him getting stale. A couple of times where he'll have a drive where he can only get 2 yards every time and can get stale, but he can make some big plays too. So,
yeah, I just, I really think he's just going to be the, again, another 1B type guy, great for the red zone, just great in true power situations, and somebody you can get, a few more touches than that too, but I just can't ever envision him ever getting like a, 15 to 20 touch per game workload. He did surprise me more this year too. Coming into the year, I was not very happy that he was getting the work the previous year, causing Zach Charbonnet to transfer, because I'm a big Zach Charbonnet fan. If he was going to be in this draft class, I have a hard time seeing him fall outside of my top 2 or 3. Let's be honest. Like I'm going to be, I was going to say I'm behind Zach Charbonnet next year, but I lied, because I can't be. There's going to be 7 running backs better than him, and he could still arguably be top 2 running back in this class. It's crazy. Oh, I can't wait for next year. But anyway, we're worried about this year. And I think Hassan Haskins is like, imagine James Conner this year in Arizona. I think it could be the exact same type of workload where you let someone else be the receiving back, just like gain yards, like have a chance to gain extra yards type of back. Whereas James Conner went in, provided some power, helped to get the 4 yards he needed to go in the red zone to get the touchdowns. And then all of a sudden, Chase Edmonds gets hurt and gets larger workload and has some success, over a little bit of a stretch. I think it could be the same type of thing. I just don't think a team should go in and invest into Hassan Haskins as their running back.
I agree.
As their guy.
Yeah, I agree. Zamir White, who you talked about, and then also Kennedy Brooks out of Oklahoma and CJ Verdell. They were 3 guys that I was looking really forward to watching this year.
CJ Verdell sucks.
CJ Verdell, yeah, definitely didn't do anything. And then Kennedy Brooks, he's kind of and has had a lot of injury problems as well. Zamir White, you have in your top 5. Here's a name that I'm interested to see if you watch a lot of film on, because I see him very high in a lot of rankings as well, but neither of us talked about him. That being Tyler Beatty out of Mizzou.
I honestly have not watched really any. I've watched very little, so who knows? I'm gonna be updating these projections throughout, these ranking stuff throughout the offseason too. As I see more film, I'll watch more on guys. I'm gonna round back to him because I've been seeing things that maybe I've missed something, because I have been seeing a few things last few days on Twitter about him specifically. So he's someone that I'm definitely gonna go back and watch. But as of right now, I don't have in mind top 12 or anything.
Yeah, I've got him at number 11. I've got him as plus pass pro, plus receiving out of the backfield, but the run game just is not there for me. His vision and the way to actually get it done on the ground, I haven't seen it. So
I saw a dynasty analyst say that if someone's gonna be Elijah Mitchell this year, it's gonna be Tyler Beatty.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's what really makes me want to go back and watch him, see if I missed something.
I also saw people talking Dameon Pierce when it comes to Elijah Mitchell, and I could actually see that because I like Dameon Pierce a lot.
But Dameon Pierce is going to go 3 rounds higher than Elijah Mitchell did.
Dameon Pierce was actually the guy who I said I have him at number 8, and I kind of want to put him above my number 7. That happened, and then I almost dropped my initial number 7, Hassan Haskins, completely out of the rankings for Ty Chandler out of UNC, but it didn't happen. Last question here for you, Chase. Out of your guys in your top 8, who is the one? Obviously, we're rooting for success for all of these guys, but who is the number 1 guy you just want to see have success? You just love seeing them on film. You love what they can bring to a game.
It's 1,000% Kenneth Walker.
He's a beauty.
1,000%.
He's a beauty.
Because he gets so much unnecessary hate on Twitter. Everyone thinks he's going to just completely bust the NFL, and I couldn't disagree more. I want to root for the hell out of this guy. He's awesome, and I truly think he's a great running back, and just because he got limited touches and had to run a certain style at Wake Forest doesn't mean he just randomly had one good season. No, he legitimately showed flashes every single year. I went back and watched old games. He legitimately showed that he's had this ability the whole time, but was limited. He gets to Michigan State, is told to run free. Sure shit runs free.
Mm-hmm.
If an NFL team lets him run free, he's going to do the same exact thing.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but coming into the official rankings and everything, I wasn't sure about Kenneth Walker's burst and speed, but I think he might be one of the, outside of the receiving heavy backs, I think he might be one of the fastest running backs that we have in this class.
Absolutely.
He's got that breakaway speed.
He has true, I don't know what he's going to test. He's not going to run at the combine. He might run in his pro day, but he has
in the 4.4s, maybe low or high 4.3s.
He has true game speed. Some guys don't have game speed. He has true game speed.
Yeah. There we go. Those are our top 8 lists. Let us know what you think. Was there one list you liked more than another? Let us know down in the comments below. Chase's apparently. We do have a bet on this, so come back in 5 years because we'll be making, we're going to be paying each other out. Whether I win or he wins, you'll be seeing that here just a long ways away. So,
I can't wait for Zamir White to end up on the Falcons in the 3rd round.
And guess what? They're going to go for a running back next year.
Okay, everyone should go for running back next year. Everyone but literally the Colts and the Lions.
That's why I said that.
And the Broncos, I guess. And the Steelers, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Hell, even with DeAndre Swift, Lions should maybe still go for running back next year because they're so damn good.
Dude, I can't wait.
I would, if I had an elite running back next year, on my roster, and next year I still have the opportunity to draft one of these guys. If I can somehow say I'm a playoff team, say I'm the Colts, I'm a playoff team out of nowhere. For some reason, we found our quarterback. Bijan Robinson's still here. I would say, screw it. We don't need a quarterback. I don't care that we found a good quarterback. We'll trade this guy. Take Bijan Robinson. Run the ball 65 times a game. Why not?
I can't wait for 8 first-round picks in Dynasty in that draft. That's going to be so awesome.
You're going to be in trouble. You're going to know who to cut. You're going to cut guys that people are going to be
Have you seen my team?
Yeah, but you still don't have. How many picks do you have this year?
2. One in the first, one in the second.
Oh, I thought you had more. But still, you have second rounders too in 2023.
Like 2.
So right there. So next year you have to cut 10 guys for that, and adding 2 young guys in this year. That's 12 roster spots. That's a lot.
I'm okay with it.
Like you're gonna drop a couple guys that like I will be foaming at the mouth to pick up.
Also, I don't mind trading away first round picks once I lock in my number 1. Once I can lock in getting 1 or 2 of the top backs and a top receiver, then I'm fine with trading away the later picks. And there's going to be a market for that because there always is.
I am pleading to Alec to finish last place so I can get the number 1. How mad would you be?
You get a haul.
How mad would you be though? If
I wouldn't be mad because I'm getting it no matter what.
What if I said no to all 8 of your first round picks?
You'd be stupid.
Yeah, I would be.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the show. We want to thank you so much for coming out and giving it a listen. Again, put down there in the comments. Actually, if you have running back rankings, go ahead, throw those down in the comments. I'd love to know your rankings. We want to thank you so much for coming out. If you are on YouTube, if you could please give us a like, comment, subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. And like I said, down there in the comments, let us know what you think. If you're listening on a podcast platform, if you could please give us a follow and a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate that. Down in the description, you'll find the links to all of our socials. There you can keep up to date with what we do and when episodes are coming out. I want to thank you so much for coming out. And as always, we're not professionals.